Dance for me, peasants. Dance for me or I will delay the summer sale.
Sucking this balls like a tennis, sucking this dick till he finished. Now letting his semen replenish. Balls in my throat, spoons in my mouth is my image.
Are you fucking kidding me? Who the fuck is this cunt? Fucking turn this shit off. We gotta put some real shit on, bro. Yeah, cunt.
I'm gonna explain why Valve, your beloved game provider, is actually a dogshit company. Now before you start simping for Gaben, bear with me and let me enlighten you on why Valve isn't only a bad company, but is also genuinely harmful for the gaming industry. I can go on and on into the examples of basic ethics violations they've made, or the handful of awful corporate decisions they make, but I want to approach this from the average gamer's perspective instead. I'll start with one thing that always bothered me and so many other CSGO players about Valve. If you've played CS, you've probably queued competitive before, and usually that experience has been pretty solid. That is, until you come across everybody's worst nightmare. The ruiners of games. The forever cringe. Cheaters. Sadly, they're so common in CSGO competitive that it makes the whole experience get ruined. And you're wondering, what is Valve doing about these cheaters? And the answer is, literally fucking nothing. How many years have CSGO players been asking for Valve to make a half-decent working anti-cheat? VAC is so bad, you can literally spinbot in the most unnatural way possible, and it doesn't even raise a red flag. I've seen people in Overwatch who are literally spinning at 2000 RPM with an auto sniper, hitting headshots through walls. And the question there is, how the fuck did it even make it to Overwatch? Where is this script that just automatically finds the person doing the most unnatural movements possible and just banning them instantly? To all the people that are gonna say,
oh, but if they add that script, it's gonna get some false positives, and people that you don't want to be banned are gonna be banned.
who the fuck cares? It's so much more worth to have a decent playing experience for all the people whose games are going to be ruined by these absolute scumbags, that if a few false positives do happen, that's why you have an appeal process. There's no way that a company making as much money as Valve should have any difficulty creating a system like this. How can you even justify being a multi-billion-dollar company and let a bunch of losers ruin your games with cheats that were so cheap and easy to access that they might as well have been free? It's like Valve doesn't even want to put the bare minimum amount of effort to actually moderate their game. And for a multi-billion-dollar company, that's truly pathetic. But the worst part is still the fact that this cheating problem could be alleviated so easily, and Valve still just chooses to ignore it. How come other game developers can so easily address this problem by just working with a solid anti-cheat provider like BattleEye or Easy Anti-Cheat, and yet Valve, the, I'll repeat, multi-billion-dollar company, can't work something out with one of these companies and address the problem? It's honestly just fucking pathetic. Alright, let's move on to the next reason Valve sucks ass. Right now, Valve is known mostly for Steam, but in their earlier days, they were known for making fantastic video games and being fantastic game developers. Yet since around 2013, Valve has produced barely any video games, and especially hasn't released the video games everybody wanted to see. You know the Half-Life 3 meme. But let's not forget about Left 4 Dead and Portal. Everybody wants Valve to release new games in these franchises, yet with all the pressure they get and the market demand for it, where the fuck are they?
Oh, but they do make games. They made Half-Life Alyx and Artifact.
Ayo dumbass, nobody asked for these games. We just want a third of any of these series. Even from a business perspective, I can't see any possibility of them ever losing money in these endeavors. It's completely understandable how expensive game dev is, but at the same time, they have such a massive advantage over their competitors that it makes no sense for them not to make a third of their popular franchises. They have the #1 game platform for PC gaming in the entire world, a fan base of people who will buy their products no matter how bad they are. Combined with the drought we've seen of actually good games, I don't understand how Valve doesn't realize that they could capitalize on all of these advantages they have and easily turn a profit on whatever game they decide to release. It's really hard to figure out the reason why Valve doesn't seem to want to release new games, so I can only come up with two possible reasons. The first reason would be their management is completely incompetent and has an inability to do research on what their customers want. The second reason, and the one that probably makes a little bit more sense, is that since Valve makes so much money on Steam, they don't really have to do anything other than make a few couple side projects, just because they don't even want the possibility of risking their brand, which in the long run works for them, but for consumers is absolute fucking trash, since they don't have to innovate at all and can just sit on their money printer. Speaking of Steam, let's go to the final reason why Valve is trash. This one is the most controversial one yet, and that is, Steam is an overrated pile of garbage. That's right, I said it. The UI's barely changed over the years, even though the UI meta has completely evolved. It still has the same old ugly ass drop down menus, still has the same old ugly ass friends in chat tab, and it still has the same barely evolving store page that sucks ass. It looks like an ugly cluttered fucking mess. Compare Steam to its rival, the Epic Games launcher. Epic's launcher is way less cluttered, the UI is way cleaner, and it actually looks like it's been updated in the past 5 years. All that aside, Steam still helps developers make their games sell better, right? Well, yeah, I guess it does. If by help you mean someone decides to randomly scroll through games while they're bored and happens to come across the game you made, but it's not like that's gonna drive sales much. If you're actually trying to find a game to play, why the fuck are you using Steam anyway? Have you ever heard of Google? You can't tell me Steam has a better algorithm than Google if you're trying to search for whatever game you want to play. Oh, and for that fantastic service that Steam provides you, where they don't do anything to propagate your game and provide to you almost nothing of value but to store your game on a page, what do you owe Mr. Gabe Newell and his Valve? Oh yeah, a measly 30%. 30 fucking percent. Imagine being a game developer and you want to sell your product on Steam. You need to sell 10,000 copies to break even. So you grind your marketing out, and guess what? You hit that 10,000 goal. Oh wait, now you actually need to sell 3,000 more copies because Gaben decided you owe him money for doing absolutely no service to you but paging your shit. Imagine someone taking 30% of your hard-earned money while doing barely any work other than rudimentary maintenance and paging. It's like being a celebrity and making however much money you make off a brand deal, and then your agent takes 30% even though they literally did nothing for the deal. The only thing Steam really has going for it is the fact that it has a massive community, and that's it. That is literally it. Stop letting Steam and Fat Gabe get away with farming money while putting in zero effort and not advancing the gaming industry in any way. You can laugh at Steam's competitors like Epic Games all you want, but they actually have good business practices, and you can tell when you go to their store. What does Valve give out that's actually free? Literally nothing. Hey Valve, VR isn't the solution to all your problems. The tech won't be there for at least half a decade. In the meantime, maybe stop getting complacent and fix your shit. Agreed? Of course not, you're a cuck. But you, viewer, do you agree with my takes? Or are you caved in skull Gaben shill? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, or I'll put Gaben on a diet.